why is it that your name makes me want to say Zoran Zoran? Oh,
I keep
because of
saying I don't
Duran
mind at
Duran.
all. Well,
Duran Duran.
I'm a big fan of Mahira, the name, so it's perfectly fine.
Oh, nice. So I don't know if you can tell, but my director is very, very protective, possessive about his film.
Right.
You come into frame with someone and you're like, okay, so I have to up my game. It's the nuts. I'm sorry, nuts. Nuts. Nuts versus the Jatts.
Love it. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Urban Asian. My name is Zoran Sahir, and I'm joined by the incredible and gorgeous Mahira Khan. Thank you so much for talking to me for your upcoming film, The Legend of Maula Jatt. Mahira, you've done so much of incredible work over the years, and of course, needless to say, there are so many fans across the world waiting to see this massive magnum opus coming out in just a few days from now. Tell us a bit more about the film.
Oh. So I don't know if you can tell, but my director is very, very protective, possessive about his film.
Right.
In fact, with one trailer out, he actually thinks that we've given away too much. So now I'm just telling you how my director is. So me telling you anything more than what the trailer shows will be. I can tell you that it is a story of which is so universal that I think that no matter whether you understand Punjabi or not, whether you understand this culture or not, whether you've seen the old Maula Jatt or not, I think everybody will be able to relate to it. It's one of those stories. It's good versus evil, right? Which we see in superhero films. At the end of the day, the fight becomes good versus evil. It's just how interesting you make it. And I think Bilal has made it super interesting. So I think that's what I can tell you about it. It's the nuts. I'm sorry, nuts. Nuts. Nuts versus the Jatts.
Love it.
And right, so I think that will be very interesting to see. I think that this thing of which we have not seen in Pakistani cinema often, which is entering a totally different world. That's something which is the USP of the film. You're going to enter a place or a world which you've not seen before. Sure. You don't know where it's set. You don't know the timeline. It's just somewhere there, and it's its own world and space. I think that will be very enjoyable.
You mentioned about the parallels of the fact that it's just has its own space, its own time, its own sort of, set in a kind of a place where its own story. And I think every film is all about good writing, good direction. And I think Bilal Lashkari has been known for just that. When I was watching the trailer of the film, a lot of the parallels I thought was close to Padmaavat, which was made by Sanjay Leela Bhansali just a few years back, with Ranveer Singh and Shahid Kapoor kind of on each other, just the same way as Fawad and Hamza in this film do.
I haven't seen Padmaavat.
Right.
So I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I get what you're saying, that I don't know,
the feel of it. The feel of it. It's very much. It's very sort of just based on the trailer. I obviously can't wait to watch the film once it's out. But the first impression obviously had a very
if it was anything like Padmaavat, I think then the name of the movie would have been The Legend of Maula Jatt.
That's true too. Yeah, no, that's
Two men after Mukho. Oh, that's so exciting. I think there should be a spin-off.
True. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, it's not like any of these. I mean, I'm sure that's a really good film. I love Sanjay's work, and it's like he also creates another world altogether, and that's what's amazing about what he does. But no, this is nothing like you've ever really seen before. But like I said, the story is universal. Yeah.
Absolutely. And tell me a little bit about working with Fawad Khan, because Fawad has obviously been a part of Bollywood. You've been a part of Bollywood, two very well-known faces. What is it like to kind of collaborate on a film like this?
Well, you see, with Fawad, again, I think when you're working with someone who knows their job, it's such a pleasure. You come into frame with someone and you're like, okay, so I have to up my game. But can I tell you something very honestly? I think the cool
Sure.
part is that when me and Fawad are acting together, we're just bouncing off each other. I don't know, I
True.
don't think he does as well, but I definitely don't think too much, you know. I just know that
Yeah.
I'm going to come and I'm going to say my lines and he's going to say my lines, and somewhere in the middle of it, we're going to find the drift, you know.
The common. Yeah.
So, yeah, and after all these years, what was amazing was that we were speaking in a completely different language.
Sure.
So I think that's why it's going to be so different from Humsafar. That
Yeah.
baggage is not with us in Maula Jatt at least, because we are so different from our characters of
Mm-hmm.
Humsafar, and our language is so different that it'll be very interesting for people to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you've also answered my second question because I wanted to ask you that you've been a part of Bin Roy, Varna, and of course, Rais with Shahrukh Khan. Very, very different films, all very different genres. And of course, this is a huge period drama film. What drew you to the script? I mean, when
Yeah.
you kind of it was first narrated to you, what made you say, "I want to do this"?
Well, yeah, it had to be narrated to me because for the life of me, I wouldn't have understood Punjabi, right?
Sure.
So yes, it was narrated to me, and I had to be convinced. I had to be convinced because I just thought that I. It was not that I didn't want to take up the challenge.
Okay.
I kept trying to say, why can't you take someone else? Why
Okay.
can't you, audition someone else? Why can't you do, there was that. And Bilal was convinced that it had to be me. And he was also convinced at some level that in this small role, you'll be able to do what you haven't done.
Sure.
And I know every director tells you that, but I think when I even heard Mokho's character, I knew what he was getting at. That there is something about Mokho I've not done. There is a inhibition less woman,
Sure.
uninhibited, as you say, some degree completely out there.
Absolutely.
She's the one who's flirting with the man. She's the one was really interesting for me, and I knew that this is something that I might not get again, in Pakistani cinemas.
Sure. Just to wrap up, last two questions, Myra. You've done films for quite some time now, for so many years. What is your advice to young upcoming actors, talents who kind of want to make into the industry, which is such a crowded industry, but how do you sort of really focus and streamline your talent?
It is. You're right, actually. It's there. It's so amazing to see how many people. I wouldn't say crowded. Just seems
Mm-hmm.
it just seems claustrophobic. I think that it's
Yep.
a booming industry, and I
Sure.
think that there are so many actors now, right? And new actors who are so good.
Sure.
My observation. I see them. When I see young actors and I see how they are. I think my only. I don't know if I should even. I'm not in a position to advise, but I guess uh, I don't want to sound like but I am a senior actually, so I should sound
But
like a
you are a
senior.
senior actor.
Okay.
Why not?
Well,
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
yeah, I am.
You're experienced. You're
Absolutely.
experienced.
So, yes, experience. So I think that because we're living in a time when everything is fast, you know,
Sure.
it's like we're almost a fast food world, right?
Sure.
Everything is happening overnight. Success is overnight.
Mm.
Failure is overnight. You get dragged down within seconds on social media. You're cancelled, or
Yeah.
you are brought up and put up on a pedestal where you're a hero or a god.
Yeah.
So everything is very fast.
Mm.
So it's difficult for this new generation. So what I would tell them is that all of this, the failure, the
Mm-hmm.
success, all of this does not matter.
Okay.
What you have to keep doing is working. This is a job. I mean, I love my job. I'm passionate about it. I feel loyal to my films, my producers, my director, all of that. And I know that every time I failed, I have felt terrible, but the next day I got up and went to work. So that's it. That's what I would say. Just keep on working honestly, and do not take the failure and success that that this current generation is getting so that seriously as to to tell yourself whether you failed or succeeded, you know? Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mahira, for
you.
joining me. Wishing you all the very best for your film and looking forward to
Thank
more work in
you.
the future. Wonderful talking to you.
I reckon that you want to be an actor. Do
I
you?
already am an actor. I've been an actor for the last 10
Yes,
years
I
of my
can tell an actor. You see, we can
life.
smell each other, even from
Absolutely.
Zoom.
Looking forward to working with you
Well, good
sometime.
luck.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
luck for
Mahira.
you.
Looking forward to it.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.
God bless. Thank you. Bye bye.